Welcome back to IAS Net Study. This is the 48th video in this ethics series. We were discussing probity in governance, the last chapter, and we are taking up the topics that are mentioned in your syllabus. In the last few videos, we talked about information sharing, then we talked about transparency, then we talked about RTA. In this video, we are going to take up the next topic that is mentioned in your syllabus, Citizens Charter. Now let's see the basics of Citizens Charter, and then we are going to talk about the various principles or the objectives or what are the challenges and various evaluations of Citizens Charter. All these aspects we are going to cover in this video. So what exactly Citizens Charter is? Citizens Charter, it means that it is some kind of document. So it is a document. What exactly this document deals with? There are public bodies like public organization, there are government departments, there are public institutions. These kind of public bodies, they talk about their commitments of public body. Commitment maybe for year 2026 in January, they come up with a document, and this document tells you that what exactly they are going to achieve in 2026, how will be the standard of their services. So ultimately this talks about public services delivery of public services, and it empowers citizens by giving information regarding public services. As an example, or take an example of postal department. Postal department comes up with Citizens Charter. I'm giving you guys an example. Think that every year in the January 1st, they come up with the documents, and this document talks about their targets or the standards they are going to follow this year. Maybe postal department mentions that we are going to go for a digitalization. Maybe a 200 post offices in the rural areas, they are going to be converted into digital post offices, and they are going to recruit maybe 1000 uh, postman or anything recruitment with respect to postal department. See, these kind of targets, it is going to be set by postal department, and it is the commitment, and this commitment will be publicized in front of, and it will be kept in front of the people. So this is a commitment of a public body, and these commitments, they are going to create the transparency. I am a citizen of this country, and I am going to get this information regarding postal department. So this is going to empower me, because I can ask question now to the department if they don't fulfill this. So this is going to empower the citizen with respect to delivering of public services. So this is the Citizens Charter. Ultimately, it's a documents, and in that document, it has the things that what are the targets, what are the commitments, and what if we don't achieve this, and grievance redressal. All these things will be there in this document. That is Citizens Charter. And let's see the content of the slide. Citizens Charter is an instrument that seeks to make public organization transparent. Why is it transparent? How is it supporting transparent? It is the commitment. The document has the details regarding what they are going to do in 2026. Postal department, they are releasing the Citizens Charter, and they mention that in 2026 what are their targets and what are they going to achieve. So they are putting everything in front of the people. So this is going to enhance the transparency, accountability, since they've already mentioned that. As an example, they told that 200 rural post office are going to be digitalized. But if they don't achieve that, I can question them. So accountability factor is there, and it is also citizens friendly. See, ultimately all these government bodies runs on the public money. So now, before Citizens Charter, everything, there is a culture of secrecy. We don't even know what are their targets and what are their planning and how are they going to achieve their targets. All these things, we have no idea. But once we have this document, Citizens Charter, now I have everything. Now I can question the government. So it becomes pro people. Governance become pro people. People can participate in the governance, so it becomes citizens friendly. So Citizens Charter make public organizations transparent, accountable, and the citizen friendly. It is a public declaration of service standards and commitment made by organization. I told you that this document will be placed in front of the people. So there is a public commitment, there is a public declaration that what am I going to do. Postal department is telling that okay, this is what I am going to do, and this is the commitment they are giving to the people. So public institutions, public bodies, they are giving the public commitment. And regarding what? Regarding the quality of the services, quality of the public services, regarding the timeliness, the time frame that within 1 year we are going to do that, and regarding manner of service delivery. So all these things will be dealt by citizens charter. Although commitments under citizens charter are not legally enforceable, this you need to remember. See, their postal department released that citizens charter. Their target is 200 digitalization of 200 rural post offices, but they could not able to achieve that. Now can you go to the court of law and can you question that? Can you file a petition in the court saying that postal department told that they are going to digitalize 200 but they did only 90 digitalization? Can you file a complaint against postal department? No, you cannot, because these are not legally enforceable. These are commitment given by post officers. See, even if you're not happy, they are not fulfilling it, you're not happy about it, there is a grievance redressal, you can address that, but legally these are not enforceable. Legally you cannot challenge in a court of law saying that you have told this, you did not do that. No, there is no legal enforceability factor with respect to citizens charter. So then what is the necessity? Why do we need citizen charter when there is no legal enforceable factor? It is a moral obligation, it is an administrative obligation. I am committing to something. If I don't achieve that, my image is going to be tarnished. I have told you that tomorrow I will be here. If I don't come here, or if I come after 2 hours and I'm making you wait, next time nobody is going to trust me, next time nobody is going to believe me, so my image is going to be disturbed here. So there is a moral obligation on the government bodies, moral obligation, administrative obligation on the public bodies. Most probably they try hard, they try to their maximum extent to fulfill whatever the commitment they have given in their document. And this charter thus embodies a relationship of trust between service provider and the citizen. See, uh, postal department is telling that 200, and if it fulfills that, then people are going to trust it. They remember that, okay, they have told that in 2025 they told that they fulfill these commitments. There are 10 commitments they have come up with, and they fulfill all the 10 commitments. So in the next year, in 2026, whatever the commitments usually postal department gives in the documents in the citizens charter, people are going to believe it. There is a trust factor because already postal department has fulfilled this commitment. So there will be a public trust. So here, service provider, government body, that is one side, and the citizens. So the trust factor or the gap can be reduced with these kind of fulfillments. And the concept of citizens charter, it first articulated and implemented in United Kingdom. In England, United Kingdom, it was first it was articulated and it was implemented as a part of administrative reforms aimed at improving public service delivery. So remember that it is UK where the start its citizens charter initiation was started there. Now, you understood what exactly citizens charter. It is a document, talks about commitment of a public body, right? Now, what are the objectives of the citizens charter? Objective is empowering people. The primary objective is empowering citizen with respect to public service delivery. This is the core objective here. So now commitment has been given by a government body that we are going to do that. Now this is giving, this is empowering people with respect to delivery of public services. Now people have certain expectations with respect to public delivery, and the if see, even if it is achieved, then public trust is going to be ensured. If this does not achieve, then people can question it. Then there will be a factor of accountability. I can question the postal office that you didn't do it. So either way, the public involvement can be ensured. So empowerment of citizen is the ultimate objective here. So whether you achieve it, people are happy, there is a trust factor. If you don't achieve it, then you will be questioned by others. Again, people will be a part of governance here. People are going to question the public body. So this is the objective of citizens charter. And let's see the principles on which citizens charter is based on. There are 6 core principles. The first principle is that quality. So charter, the document mentioned the all these things what they are going to do. So their quality is one among the very important aspects. They are telling that post office or department is telling that digitalization of 200 post offices, but that does not mean that you're not going to compromise it with quality. all the standards have to be maintained, all the quality of services you have to fulfill, you have to maintain that. This is the first principle. Don't compromise with the quality. You have to give the quality or the necessary standards that are required in this service. So first is quality, and then the choice, providing choices wherever it is feasible. See, these documents also gives the choices to the people also. See, now there are two public bodies, they're giving choices in front of me. There are two public bodies, A and B. Now I know the commitments of company A. I know the commitments of public body B. Now, choices are in front of me. I know what they are going to do. The list. I know what they are going to do. The list. Now, I can make an informed decision. So there is a one thing. They are telling what exactly, what are the choices they have as a post office department, postal department. What are the options they have? And me as a citizen, I also have choices. I can also make informed decisions. So choice is the second principle. Third is the standard. They've told that 200 digitalization, but again the standards have to be maintained, quality have to be maintained. The same thing, quality, whatever we talked about, improving quality of services. Here also here also the document should very specifically mention that how, what the standards are going to be maintained. It is going to clearly specify what citizens can expect, and if the standards are not met, then how can you go for a remedy. All these things will be mentioned in the document. And then value, ensuring value of a taxpayer's money. See, I am if postal department, it is run by the public money only. If there is a secrecy, culture of secrecy, I will not be knowing how exactly how effective it is, how efficient this particular department is. If there is a citizens charter, if there is a document, if there is a charter, then I know that how exactly it is working, whether it is effective, whether there is a factor of efficiency. Now I am paying the tax. Now I am happy about it. Of course, now I am sure that my money, my tax pay money, will be utilized in an efficient way. See, I'm not only, don't take it from only one perspective, that only one department. If every single department of a government, if all these departments are coming up with citizens charter, if every department is releasing this document that what are their standards and how are they going to achieve, and grievance redressal, all these things, now I feel happy. So whatever the tax I am paying, now I feel happy that I know how my tax money is utilized, how exactly it has been implemented, the policies are implemented which utilizes my tax money. So ensuring value for taxpayers money. And accountability, obviously they come up with all these targets, and if they don't achieve, I can question them. So accountability factor here, it makes organization answerable to citizens. And then transparency, also the core ideology, the core philosophy is the transparency. The first, you can say transparency. When there is a transparency, it will lead to the accountability. When there is accountability, I know how exactly my money has been spent, so there is a value of my tax paying money. And since there is accountability factor, there is an obligation on public body, on this government department, that they have to maintain certain standard and they have to maintain quality of public services. And by all these things, public can make an informed choice. So these are the six core principles of citizens charter. So objective is empowering citizens, and then core principles: quality, choice, standard, value, accountability, and transparency, right? Now let's see the components of citizens charter. There are seven components have been mentioned. The important ones are vision and the mission of the state, mission statement of an organization. Or usually, take an example of the water department. So drinking water facility, maybe they have the vision that they are going to provide. As an example, Jal Jeevan Mission, that water ministry, their target was around I think 2025, something like that. They are going to give tap water, fresh water drinking connection to every household. These are certain targets. So citizens charter talk about the vision and the mission of a particular department, of particular organization, or particular public body. And it details of business activity transacted by organization, it is also going to be in the document. And identification of targeted citizens. See, if the water department, they are coming up with a document, ultimately their target is that the where exactly the disadvantaged group, or people where accessibility factor is a question mark. See, identification of citizens and clients, this is also one among the components. Ultimately, that also served by citizens charter. And statement of services, it includes standards, quality, timeliness, modes of access, all these things. So that is also another component. See, the document contains that it talks about 2026, 1 year or maybe 2 years time frame. Within 2 years we are going to achieve that. So it talks about timeline, it talks about mode of access also, it talks about quality, it talks about standard also. So citizen charter documents consist this also. And at the end it talks about grievance redressal also. They have come up with a commitment. What if they don't fulfill the commitment? What can I do? See, it is not legally enforceable. Now what is the option with me? Option is that there is a grievance redress mechanism also. They have told that when 200 digitalization, if they did not do the 200 digitalization, then what, as a citizen, what can I do? Now there are grievance redressal mechanism. You can go there and you can complain regarding non-fulfillment of this, even though there is no legal enforceability, but still there is a moral obligation, there is a legal obligation, not a legal administrative obligation. So grievance redressal, that details whom to contact and where to raise the issue, even those things will also be mentioned in the document. And expectations from citizens. The document also expects what citizen is expected from the department, from a water department what is expecting, from a postal department what are the expectations of the people. So those expectations will also be written in the citizens charter. And then additional commitments such as if the additional commitment is that, see, they've told that 200 digitalization. If they could not able to do 200 digitalization, there is a grievance redressal. Along with that grievance redressal, there is a additional commitment also. It is that compensation. As an example, water department, they come up with a document and they say that to a block A we are going to give a direct water tap fresh water drinking water facility. They could not able to fulfill that. If they, for that also they have to mention, if they could not able to fulfill that, what are they going to do? They are going to offer a compensation, or they are going to offer a apology if there is a service failure. That aspect is also, should also be there in the citizens charter. So these are the components. Importantly, the first is vision of the organization. Then it talks about the details of business, how exactly they are going to do that, details will be there. And then the targeted citizens, where exactly, if the water department, here the target citizen is the block A, so that targeted citizens or the identification of the clients, that will be there. And statement of services regarding quality of the service they are going to give, standards of a service they are going to give, and the time frame also, like within 1 year 2 year we are going to do that. That statement of services will be there. There will be grievance redressal mechanism. And also what exactly people are expecting, expectations from the people, that will also be there in the document. And along with that, additional commitment is that if at all system failure happens, then what will be the outcome, then what are we going to do? Will there be a compensation, will there be apology? Even those things are also going to be the part of citizens charter, right? These are components. Next, significance, you can say importance of citizens charter. The first and foremost, transparency, accountability. You know that this is going to enhance transparency, this is going to ensure accountability, and this is going to improve service quality and efficiency, because even the statement of services will be there in the document. So it ensures quality of services, standards of the services, time frame of the services. So it improves the service quality and efficiency and effectiveness. And it reduces arbitrariness and discretion, because transparency is there. You have already made the commitment. Commitment is 200 digitalization, so already is there, there is no discretion, so you have to fulfill it. There is a moral obligation, there is an administrative obligation. So this reduces arbitrariness, this reduces the discretion, and it builds trust between governments and citizens. Now I know that my tax money is utilized properly. And if the postal department fulfill this commitment of 200 standardization digitalization, then there will be a factor of trust between people and citizen. If next year in 2027, if the postal department come up with further more commitments, that now I am going to trust the department, because I know that they are going to fulfill, they have already proven their efficiency. So somewhere I have the trust factor, I know that even in future they are going to fulfill that. So that is the thing. And it strengthens participatory and responsive governance. Obviously transparency is there, accountability is there, so I can ask the question. So when I ask the question, there is a moral obligation, administrative obligation, you have to answer me back. So this ensures responsive governance. And also now there is a transparency and accountability. Now I am asking the question, so citizens friendly governance is there. So It leads to pro people governance. So these are some of the importance or significance of citizens charter. Now let's see the evaluation. Evaluation, see, certain private bodies or civil society organization, they have evaluated this document. They have evaluated this idea or the concept of citizens charter itself. Various assessments have been done by government bodies as well as the non-government bodies also, even research institution, civil society organization. They have done the research, they have analyzed these, and they have given certain findings here. And what are these findings? The first finding is that limited understanding among service providers. There is a government body, as an example, the same example of postal department. So they have come up with document, and document they have made the commitments. But after going through citizens charter, they have realized that even postal department itself, their understanding with respect to citizens charter itself is very much restricted. See, in our country, how many there are thousands of government body, public bodies are there. Out of that, very minuscule number of public bodies are coming up with citizens charter. They are releasing these kind of documents. And even in that minuscule number of citizens charter or the document released by public body, even in those public bodies, the understanding, their idea about the citizens charter, it is still a question mark there. See, they themselves, this post here, the postal department, they themselves are not aware of citizens charter. They think it has some kind of formality and they are releasing it. They are not understanding the objectives, they are not understanding the operational significance of these citizens charter. This is one among the important observation made by various assessments. They have told that the service provider, these kind of public body, they themselves are not understanding the philosophy, they themselves are not understanding the objectives, they themselves are not understanding the operational significance here. See what happens. I am releasing the this department is releasing the citizens charter, but the intention, there is a question mark. When there is no understanding of philosophy, when they don't understand the reason behind significance or objective behind it, so the effectiveness will be questioned here. So as a result, usually this citizen charter, this document usually is considered as some kind of formality. It is that government has told you to do, so this particular department is releasing the document. Every year it is releasing a document without any commitment. They're giving the public commitment, they're not fulfilling it. The reason is that they themselves are not understanding it. This is the first assessment. And then poor design and content. See, when there is a lack of understanding, now you have to fill the document, you have to make the commitments. Now commitments, when you are aware of your capabilities, when you are aware of what is the intention, what are the objective behind citizens charter, then you take it seriously. When you don't have this awareness, then it next level, the designing or the content, even that is also going to be impacted. So you don't have the clarity, you just think as a formality. Just like you have to give some kind of project work, and you're just copy pasting something, and you're just your idea is that you have to submit that project work within 5 days. So your target is 5 days, and your project work should have 50 pages. So you're just only focusing on 5 days and 50 pages, you're not focusing on content of that project. So this is what you're happening. Government has told you to release the document. What you are doing is you just want to release it for the sake of formality. So you're designing, you're not focusing on that content, you're not focused on that. So lack of clarity and specificity is there. And they don't clearly define service standards, timeliness, and the quality standard, time frames, it is not mentioned properly. As an example, the government usually, in general, if government says that we are going to turn India into a developed nation, see, it's very generic statement. Now the question is, when are you going to turn? What is the time frame? It has not mentioned. Or even the economic the standards or economic some kind of evidence is also not being given. See, government is not even telling that what percent will be the growth, or how much are we going to achieve. It's like $5 trillion. Will it be $7 trillion? Will it be $15 trillion? There is no commitment. It is simply saying that we will turn India into a developing country. See, it clearly shows that there is no seriousness behind it. There is no clarity. There is a lack of clarity and the lack of specificity. This is what happens when you just consider it as a formality, not as not genuinely want to do reformation. See, this is what happened. You don't define service standards, you don't define quality, you don't define timeliness. This is what happens uh, when there is a poor design and the content. Ultimately, this is the second assessment done by these research bodies. The first assessment here is the service provider, they themselves will be having limited understanding. Second is poor design and the content, and the third is low public awareness. See, even people, they themselves are aware of citizens charter, they themselves don't know that there is a concept of citizens charter, where it is a moral obligation on these public bodies that they have to come up with a public commitments. People themselves are not aware of it. This is another assessment, is another assessment done by these research bodies under the evaluation. Low public awareness, people, they themselves are not aware of citizens charter. So only small portion of citizens are aware of citizens charter, or even if the department has released the charter, nobody don't know that where exactly they publish or how to access these documents. Even public awareness is very low, and if they don't achieve it, how can I question it? Even I can, how can I ensure the accountability factor? All these things, it is still a problem. So this is another evaluation. And the fourth evaluation is that uh, rare updating of charters. Usually what happens in 2024, department has released one charter, and 2025 same charter by changing the timeline. 2026 again same charter by again changing the time frame. What you're doing is, just you have to as government told you to come up with a citizen charter, and the department is releasing citizen charter every year. They're just copy pasting the same thing just by editing small things. So here what happens, you're not updating the services, you're not updating the public commitment, you're not genuinely, you are releasing the document. Here everything is just for the sake of publicity. This is what you are doing. Everything is outdated, everything is static. Just copy paste of what you did in last year, you're doing the same thing here. So here intention is that you're not genuinely want to give that public commitment. So this makes them irrelevant in a changing administrative and technological environment. See, this department is from 3 4 years releasing the same document without any fulfillment of public commitment. There is no updating or there is no upgradation. Then people are not going to take it very seriously. People know that they are just doing it for the sake of releasing. So this is another issue. The analysis, the research institution, they find out that they are not even, so many departments, they are not even updating the charter, they are not even updating the documents. And then the next evaluation is that lack of stakeholder consultation. Usually what happens, take an example of water department. Water department, they are coming up with certain standards, they are coming up with a certain public commitment. Now what happens, many a department, here is an example of water department, they are not even talking with citizens. See, they have to listen to the citizens, what they want, how much they want, and also timings also. Usually water department, they have decided that morning 3:30 we are going to release water, we are going to give the water, water will be released to the for the human consumption. See, people want it at 7 o'clock, but what water department is doing, 3:30 a.m. See, there is a discrepancy, what people want and what department want. Again, this create the discrepancy. How do you eliminate this kind of discrepancy? It is through the stakeholder consultation. You have to talk to the people. Of course, your commitment is that you are going to, you want to provide 100 liters per person of water, drinking water every day, something like that, and consumption water every day, but you're giving this at 3:30 a.m. Again, there is a mismatch what people want and what department is doing. So in order to eliminate that, you need to have a stakeholder consultation. This is another problem where during the evaluation, the research institutions have found that there is a lack of stakeholder consultation. Water department, these kind of water department, postal department, they're not even talking to the people, they're not even talking to the citizens to get the proper the inputs from them. So this has become another obstacle or another negative thing during the evaluation of citizen charter has come out. So end users, NGO, vulnerable groups are rarely considered during drafting, resulting in the charter that do not reflect the ground realities or diverse needs. Then the sixth point is that resistance to change within administration. See, there is a culture of secrecy and there is a culture of control in bureaucracy, and these public bodies, they themselves, they don't want these kind of accountability, these kind of responsibility. So within public body, government is telling all these public body to come up with a document, come up with a citizen charter, but public body, they are not happy with that. They are somewhere wholeheartedly, they are not accepting this change, they're not happy with the change, they like the way it is, the culture of secrecy. Nobody's going to question them, they're going to get the salary, they are fine with that, they are against this change. Even within administration, they are not in a position for they are not accepting these changes. So citizen centric reforms requires attitudinal and behavioral changes, and this is not seen at the ground level, at the public bodies. And they, because bureaucratic inertia, they themselves, they are not they have that lethargy towards all these things, and fear of accountability, and there is a vested interest. See, if there is a public commitment, people are going to question them, then there is an accountability factor. And if I am a head of this public body, I don't want to questioned by other people. So I do, if I don't fulfill that, people are going to question me, then who is going to be who has to answer that? I am the head of this postal department, then I have to give the explanation to it, and I don't want to do it. So what I support the culture of secrecy, support the culture of control, so that nobody can question me. So this is another negative aspect of citizens charter. So these are six observations uh, are the find outs during the evaluation of citizen charter. First one is limited understanding among the service providers, poor design and content, low public awareness, rare updating of charters, lack of stakeholder consultation, and the resistance to change within the administration. Now, what are the measures? What can be done to get rid of these negative things? So, 12th report of second ARC. The title of this 12th report is the Citizen Centric Administration, the Heart of Governance. And this 12th report, it has given clear principles to make citizens charter meaningful. So, 12th report or second ARC 12th report, it talks about uh, citizen centric administration, and in that citizen centric administration, it has talked about citizens charter, and in that it has talked about principles. These principles should be maintained by citizens charter. In order to make it more effective, in order to make it more meaningful, these principles should be followed by public bodies. So what are the measures and what has to be done? The first is context specific design. See, actually this is what happened in reality also. Government has given instructions to various departments to come up with a citizens charter, come up with a document. Now what happens? Department A has released document, citizens charter. Now Department B and C, they just copied the document. This copied the same documents released by Department A is copied by Department B. The same thing Department by C, just tweaking the changes, changing the names, changing the departmental information. Rest of it, it is just a copy paste. See, this has to be changed. So one size fits all, this is not going to work. So context specific design should be there. So these citizens charter must be customized to the nature of the service. See, Department A, their responsibility is different, finance department, their responsibility is different, water department responsibility is different, and the agricultural department, their responsibility is different. You cannot copy paste finance department citizens charter to water department and agriculture department. This is not going to happen. So one size fits all, it is not going to work. That has to be changed. This is the first suggestion given by the 12th second ARC 12th report. And the second is that unit level charters. Unit level charter is that there is one department, and under that there are so many sub departments, a, B, C, D, these kind of sub departments are there. And the second ARC mentions that even these sub department unit level, these different departments, even they should also have a separate charter. It is not that you have a one single charter for whole department, you're done. No, it is not that. There are micro departments, and ensure that, make sure that even these micro departments also have documents, also have citizens charter. This is the second suggestion. And the third suggestion is that whatever the commitment you make sure that there is a measurable pattern. The country says that, government says that we are going to turn country into a developed nation. Now there is no time frame, and there is no mention of what will be the economy, the extent of economy. It does not whether it is 5 trillion, whether it is 50 trillion. They're not talking about it. Or will they do it within 5 years or 10 years or 20 years? There is no time frame. They're just telling that India is going to be turned into a developed country. So when you say these kind of things, very vague promises, this is not going to help neither the department, neither the government, nor the people. So these kind of vague commitments should be avoided. There should be a firm commitment. There should be a measurable commitments. As a postal department, as a last example, I told you that 200 digitalization of post offices. Here you can check the target, or you can check with the progress of postal department whether they've achieved this 200 or not. See, there is a measurable commitment, whereas if the vague promises are given, you cannot measure it. So this has to be avoided. And then internal reforms. See, organization, within the organization, there should be, their attitude should also change. There should be citizen centric governance. So they should accept, if there is a question, if somebody question, if the citizens involved in the governance, if the citizens question you, you should be in a position to accept it, and you should give the proper response to it. So the structure should be aligned to meet the charter commitments. So reformations is very much necessary to align you with the document, the public commitments you usually make. And then strong grievance redress mechanism. You have come up with the public commitments, you don't fulfill it, don't fulfill the your 200 digitalization. Now if you don't fulfill it, then what is the option that has to be maintained? So now I am a citizen of this country, and my tax money has been used for the postal department. Now their commitment is 200, but what actually they did is 90. Now I should question them, right? There should be some channel to question them. How do I question them? So there should be a grievance redressal mechanism, even though there is no legal enforceability, but still there should be some kind of grievance redress mechanism. And clear and accessible mechanisms, there should be there, it must be there to channelize my complaint there. So strong grievance redress mechanism with clear and accessible mechanisms must exist for redress in case of default or service failure. If postal department could not able to achieve the commitment, then postal department should have that grievance redressal also. So it should be easier for me to access it and file a complaint if there is a system failure, service failure. And then periodic review and evaluation also. And it is that once you made this document, you release this document, and it is there for next 5 years, you are just repeating the same charter again and again, even that also should not be there. There should be a periodic review, because the economy is growing, population is growing, people expectation changes from differs from year to year. And even budgetary supports will also change, policy implementation, policy formulation are also going to impact the public bodies. So periodic review should be there, and periodic evaluation should be there. Are we going for a over targeting, or there is an under commitment? All these things analysis should be there, and we should keep updating. If some as an example of postal department, they should keep reviving it. Charter should be regularly revived and updated to remain relevant and effective. If a department has given a charter in 2020 and 2025 also it is just repeating the same thing, then people are not going to trust it, people are not going to take in the postal department charter very seriously. So periodic review should be there, and it should be relevant at this point of time also. And then the seventh measure is that benchmarking using citizen feedback. Grievance redress mechanism is one thing, another thing is citizens feedback. It is also, there should be respect to the citizens feedback also. So service standard should be benchmarked based on end users feedback. Water department has given the connection to the block A. Now it has to get the feedback from the people. Are you happy? See, if they're giving water at 3 a.m. in the morning, people are not happy. So you should get their feedback also. So that stakeholder consultation, the whatever we saw there, the same thing can be replicated here also. Here the terminology is different. Here it has been mentioned citizens feedback. And then accountability of officers, even though it is not legally enforceable, but still there is a moral obligation, there is an administrative obligation. Officers should be held accountable for performance against the standard charter has made certain public commitment, and public body did not fulfill it. Now who is accountable? The head of the body is the accountable. You can question them and you can make those personalities accountable here. Then wide publicity is another measure. One thing, public body, the service provider, they themselves, they don't have the knowledge, and at the same time people also, they are not aware of this particular citizen charter, the idea of citizen charter. So publicity has to be given. Use the social media, use the multimedia, newspaper, electronic digital media, all these things, poster, banners, use it, so that give that reach to the people, so that in turn people will be interested. People, it ensure public participation, pro people governance. So publicity, and then give grievance and performance database. Performance database is that grievance redressal mechanism we talked about it. See, I got postal department told that 200 digitalization, but it did only 90. Now I am not happy, so I go for a grievance redressal. I have written a complete complaint to the uh, department. Now here this point is talking about, you have to maintain a database where you have to say that how many grievance you have received, and how many grievance redressal, how many what are the actions you took against this grievances, that also should be there, and your performance details should also be there. This database should be maintained. So centralized and accessible database should create to track the complaints and time taken to redress the complaint, and also repeated failures and pattern of delivery deficiency. All this information should be in a database, and it should be in an accessible format. So these are some of the measures to make citizens charter effective. I think this is it for the day. We talked about citizens charter, and then we talked about objectives, we talked about components, and we talked about evaluations, what are the all the negative evaluation negatives of citizens charter, and finally we talked about the measures what can be done to ensure efficiency of citizens charter. So this would finish citizens charter. I will see you guys in the next video. In the next video we are going to take up code of conduct and code of ethics. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for listening. Please leave a comment also, and thank you so much.